Auburn Blitz is now on the air. Your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Hello everybody and welcome into the latest edition of the Auburn Blitz, brought to you by Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Stores and Mortgage Pro there at McKinley team. We're glad that you've joined us out there, wherever it might be that you're watching or listening to us or joining us on Facebook Live. That's the way you can interact with us on this show. You can find us on Facebook Live, Sports Blitz, Sports with a Z. Find us there and interact throughout the entire show. Brett Pritchard and Randy Lee here with you for your lunch hour here, and we were off yesterday in honor of Veterans Day. I hope all of you took some time out to recognize the many veterans that have fought and defended our freedoms here. It gives us the opportunity to do what we do on a daily basis. So makes it the best country in the world because of those people. So hopefully you had a chance to pay some respects yesterday. It's Auburn, Georgia week. That's what we'll be talking about primarily throughout this week, and big game at Auburn. Auburn opens up as a 3.5-point underdog in that game. That's not too surprising. I mean, it's a Georgia team is ranked higher than Auburn, but Georgia's not scoring a lot of points, so this is a very winnable game for Auburn, especially considering they've only lost 2 games this year and very close games on the road in 2 hostile environments. Auburn on the basketball court again tonight in South Alabama to take on the Jaguars. So that should be an interesting matchup. It'll be on ESPN+. There will be no SEC network or regular TV for that game, but you can stream that on your app if you have that. But a lot to talk about today. Obviously, the game of the century, part 22, I believe, this past Saturday in Tuscaloosa with President Donald Trump on hand to watch it. Alabama falls to LSU in a crazy game, a high-scoring game. They blew past the 63-point over-under. They ran by that one, both teams scoring in the 40s. It was a crazy game.
You know, I could not be more wrong when you and I did our last program together on Saturday, where I just could not see Joe Burrow and that LSU offense that scored 0 points last year blitzing Alabama at their home stadium with Nick Saban a couple of weeks to prepare back in the secondary.
That's what I kept in my mind, back in my mind, is what you said Saturday.
Yeah.
Couple of weeks to prepare. Nick Saban, couple of weeks to prepare. And I was like, man, I was sold by the time I walked out of here Saturday.
Well, there was no way not to go back in your mind to 2011. And in 2011, Nick Saban had a month to prepare to replay a team in LSU that had beaten them 9-6 at home. Now, it wasn't the type of offense that we saw from LSU the other night, but in the back of my mind, I'm going, it was a 25-0 victory for Alabama that night. LSU did not pass the midfield strike. He had their number. And I think maybe, you know, that's the reason you see so many LSU fans, LSU ex-players like Marcus Spears, if you saw him on ESPN. And it is a in-the-season victory, a regular season victory against Alabama. And they are making a huge deal out of it. But it is almost, you have to put yourself in their shoes, the way they've been beaten by Alabama over the years. It was an eye-opening game, and it was a game maybe where the baton is not completely passed, but it's equally passed, that it's not going to be surprising to see LSU compete with Alabama on a consistent basis for championships moving forward.
Yeah, that's right. If they can find a quarterback that they can interject like a Joe Burrow to run that offense, definitely. They got the talent. They've always had the talent. They just haven't been able to figure out the riddle of the offense. So Alabama, out of the gate, you know, just drove the ball down the field, and Tua had it just pop out of his arm. And, you know, in games like that, it's just weird plays, and then Joe Burrow kind of settled in, and I was wondering if he was ever going to throw an incomplete pass. Tua makes some mistakes right there at the end of the first half, where LSU's able to get 2 really quick scores and kind of extend that lead out going into halftime. And, you know, to me, that was the big part of the game, because I thought LSU came out a little conservative in the third quarter. Alabama came out with their hair on fire, which equaled LSU kind of on their heels a little bit, and Alabama getting back in the ball game. heading into the fourth quarter, it was anybody's game at that point.
A couple of quick takeaways from the football game. One, Joe Burrow won the Heisman Trophy on Saturday. He has to play poorly the rest of the season not to win that thing.
That's right.
He was outstanding, and it was needed. Alabama left points on the field. They scored 41. There were more out there. They played terribly on offense in the first half. I think LSU left points on the field.
They did.
I think LSU there in the third kept it close to the vest and decided not to make mistakes, and who wouldn't? It's hard not to when you've got a commanding lead on the road, and it's been as easy as it had been in the first half for you to make plays and to score points. I understand where it's coming from, but Brett, it's 46-41. A lot of people out there in the media pointing at Tua, saying that if they'd had Mac Jones in there or Tua would have.
Give me a break.
I want to. That's another takeaway from this football game. If you watched that young man walk off the field after
couldn't
the game,
hardly walk,
and he couldn't hardly move, and he played as well as he did. And I know I'm an Auburn fan. I don't want Alabama to win in anything, but tip your hat to that young man. Just coming off of a surgery, 3 weeks ago, going out there and throwing for 418 yards, clearly injured after that football game when you watched him limp off that field. But he didn't show it during the game.
No.
I mean, he's a battler. He proved something to me there, that he's willing to put himself out there in a position where he's not at his best. And that's the type of guy I want. Vice versa, Joe Burrow is a quarterback that I would want too. He's just hard-nosed. He's a football player playing quarterback.
I don't think anybody that had any questions going into Saturday have any questions about him anymore.
No.
I mean, it was one of those deals where each week it was like, I'm still not bought into Joe Burrow. You hear people talk about it. Yes, Auburn's defense went down and held them to 23 points in Baton Rouge, but he was able to make the plays he needed to make in that game to win. He goes on the road and by far his biggest test of his career, a game with as much hype surrounding that game as it was the President of the United States there. Just so much going on. Game day there, SEC Nation there, every news outlet you can think of there, covering that game, and he just shows up. And, man, the thing that I noticed about him early in that game is, man, he ain't shaken up by anything. He just goes over there to the bench, sits down, drinks him a little cup of water or Gatorade, whatever it is, and waits for his turn to go back out there. He doesn't get rattled, and I love his personality. It's hard not to like that guy. He's very humble in the whole scheme of things. He really gives credit to everybody else but himself, and he just loves playing the game. He loves the opportunity to be at LSU, and he said, this is why you come to a place like this. He said, I started at Ohio State, end up down here. It was all in God's plan. He just really believes that, and it shows in the way he plays.
Well, a couple of more takeaways. We got Alabama in a few weeks, so you have to start looking at the matchup there at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Najee Harris played out of his mind.
Yeah.
He has not been one that was anywhere near.
Well, they needed him Saturday.
Yeah, he had not been a guy that is as highly acclaimed as he was coming in to Tuscaloosa. He had not lived up to what many people expected and wanted out of him, and he hasn't looked the part either. I know you can point to the offensive line, say they don't play with a physical nature like they used to, and that's to be understood the way they've thrown the football around the last couple of years. But, Brett, he made people miss. He ran hard. He caught the ball out of the backfield and made plays. That's concerning to me on the defensive side for Auburn because, I like the idea of Coach Steele setting up something that keeps those receivers in front and not allow the big play.
Sure.
But when you get a running back that starts running and doing things, it changes things up. Secondly, Alabama's defense not very good at all. It's hard to be. When you have to stick two guys in the middle of that defense, they didn't play well at all.
Terrible.
Terrible in coverage.
Yep.
Worse in tackling. My gosh, have mercy.
25 missed tackles. Nick Saban talked about it yesterday.
Pitiful.
In his press conference, he said, look, man, you miss 25 tackles, you ain't going to beat many people.
No, you're not.
And he was being honest.
Not when you're putting the way that these offenses are putting great skill athletes out in coverage. And
LSU's running back is underrated. Man, let me just tell you. I know you're worried about Najee Harris, but that kid did basically the same thing. It's almost going to be a similar game plan to defend Alabama as it was LSU.
True.
LSU had a great running back. He ended up running for 134 yards. He's able to catch the ball out of the backfield from Joe Burrow. It's almost identical. That's why you saw the score the way it was in this LSU-Alabama game. They're just so similar in how they run their offenses.
Just really surprising still to think of the defenses that Alabama has thrown out there. And
It's
yes,
just
they've got some injury issues. And I don't know how good they would be if Dylan Moses was out there. We'll never know because the season's going to be wiped out.
They'd be better.
I don't know how much better. But they're not very good up front. They don't cause a lot of disruptions. And they're poor tackling and oddly poor in coverage back in the secondary when that's Nick Saban's forte. He does it better than anybody. And they just aren't playing well now.
They've given up points to a lot of people.
They gave up 31 points to an Ole Miss team that hasn't been able to score against anybody else.
Yeah.
Don't forget that. And, you can say, well, the game was in hand. Yeah, it was in hand. But previous Alabama defenses just slap people around. And they come after you so well from the edges and up the middle the last 6 or 7 years.
Oh, yeah. The Mac Joneses and the just
talking about Matt Wilson?
I mean, not Mac Jones. Matt Wilson, and then any of those linebackers that they've had over the years, have been a terror on teams.
They have just not found anyone to replace Quinnen Williams from last year. There's no big time.
Barmore tried to make that step, but he's
not Derek Brown.
No.
He's not Marlon Davidson. And Alabama's got them over there. They're just not ready to make that next step, and that's hindering this team. I think Alabama left points out there, and they scored 41. Sure. LSU left points out there, and they scored 46. That's crazy to think. What a change.
Yeah, what a terrible coverage LSU was in right there at the end of the game. With a minute and 15 seconds to go, I mean, you're in cover 0, and you're man up on the corners with no safety over the top. What are you doing? I mean, at least if they're going to go down and score, make them use the time. That was a bad mistake that could have cost them the football game. Up against our first break. Stay tuned. More of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
Now available for the first time since 2005. Take to the road like you own the company or like you work for it.
With Employee Pricing Plus at the Black Friday sales event going on at Bice Motors. Save up to $7,435 on 2019 Jeep Renegade, Compass, and Grand Cherokee. Save up to $12,000 on 2019 Ram trucks in stock.
This Black Friday is going to be big.
Shop now during the Black Friday sales event at Bice Motors in Alex City.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
A&M Plumbing, service at its best when you need it most.
From the smallest drippy faucet to drain cleaning to water heater replacement to gas lines to total systems replacement, A&M Plumbing handles it all. Visit amplumbing.net today for the experienced, licensed, and insured pros at A&M Plumbing.
A&M Plumbing, service at its best when you need it most.
Hidley Towers is an affordable senior citizen community located in Alexander City on Highway 22 East, where spacious one-bedrooms are available now. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living, where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today to find out more about Alexander City's best-kept secret, 256-329-0552, for your family at Hidley Towers. That's 256-329-0552.
Finding a job might be tough, but starting your new career has never been easier. Wellborn Cabinet in Ashland has a wide array of career opportunities with benefits. General labor production, skilled cabinet builders, product assembly line, shipping, over-the-road truck drivers, clerical, marketing, security, daycare, office clerks, and so much more. Apply in person, 38669 Highway 77 South in Ashland, or online at wellborn.com. Building cabinets, building careers, and building our community.
Alex City Marines located on Cherokee Road in Alexander City, and the Yerkes invite you by to see what they have available today. The 2020 Manitous and Landaus are in, and boy are they gorgeous. Also some great deals on demos. Take advantage of that while they last. Alex City Marine also is doing shrink wrapping, storage. Get in line now. fact, call this number, 256-215-FISH, Alex City Marine, Alex City.
Since the dawn of time, mankind has needed tools. But not all tools are created equal. AGF Machine Rental Sales and Service has tools for all commercial construction or big residential projects. AGF Machinery offers the most durable and hardworking brands of ASV, Skyjack, and Wacker Neusen. Aerial lifts, scissor lifts, loaders, excavators, and forest equipment on demand for the best possible price. And backed by the Southeast's best team of professionals. Visit any of our strategic locations across Alabama for all your equipment needs. Or online at agfmachinery.com.
The Prestige Selection at Gill's Auto Sales in Opelika has the largest selection of prestige cars, trucks, and SUVs in Central and East Alabama, all with financing available, little to no money down, and extended warranties. Get pre-qualified in under 2 minutes, online or from your mobile device at GillsPrestigeOnline.com. It's the Prestige Selection at Gill's Auto Sales, 1430 Gateway Drive in Opelika.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz, brought to you by Russell Do It Center and Building Supply Stores and Mortgage Pro there at McKinley team. Some comments coming in. We'll get to those here now as we head into the second segment. Scott says, what is your take on the LSU catch on Alabama's 1 yard line?
I don't really understand the ruling. Now, my thoughts were if you were forced out of bounds, you can come back in and make the catch.
Didn't look like he was really forced out.
If you're not forced out,
he's got to throw his hat right there. As soon as he steps out of bounds, the official has to throw his hat. Now he's an ineligible receiver to catch the football.
Which was really odd, though, if you listen to the official on the call, you know, the guy in the booth.
Well, they kind of bailed themselves out, though, on that call.
They did, but he was confused.
Yeah, he was, but then he goes, well, let me go back and tell everybody we got a little bit more information that we didn't hear, that he was forced out. Well, it's easy to go back and retroactive that.
Yeah, true. But
it's a bang-bang play, bottom line.
His feet were in bounds.
When he caught the ball.
He made a catch.
Yep.
It was a very tough one just to get back to that. I had no earthly idea that was Randy Moss's son.
You didn't know that?
No. I mean, I'm in some kind of different. I'm not.
Trust me, I knew enough of it when we played.
I'm not one to watch.
He's a lot bigger than Randy
the recruiting.
Moss, by the way.
Yeah, he is, and but that was a really good catch by him, and he's a good player.
Yeah,
he's a
game
good
against
player.
Us, so.
But I would think that's a bad call. Is that not how they came back? I mean, was it?
Well,
I
think they bailed themselves out by when the official said we pushed him out, and you know that makes everything okay at that point. Of
course, yeah.
The bottom line is he missed the call when he went out of bounds. The official should have thrown his hat. It would have made him an ineligible receiver, and therefore, if he'd have caught it and then whatever, it would have not accounted. So. You know, that's the way these things go. How many times do we talk about it every week? There's a call, something, especially in those kind of games, big plays all the time. Toolman said, interesting thought. Gus goes to Arkansas, tries recruiting Gatewood to follow him. Probably not going to happen. Gatewood visited Kentucky this weekend, by the way. Patrick said LSU was conservative in the second half, in his opinion.
Yeah.
In the third quarter, they
scored 46, and I think they could have gotten a couple of more touchdowns. Alabama could never get a stop on them. Alabama definitely could have scored a couple of more touchdowns.
Well, they had three chances in the full quarter. If Alabama just comes up with one stop, they scored every time.
Yeah, and they could not stop them on third down, could not stop the middle of the field with LSU. Don't even get me started with how those two teams take advantage of the middle of the field, and Auburn seems to not do that near enough in comparison to what we're seeing now in these cover zero matchups where you're trying to get off the ball. You're in man defense in front of you. You show outside. You come back in. Alabama's doing it great, and Joe Burrow he's an assassin back there on short passes.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
He ate us up alive. You know, we let them in. He had over 500 yards of offense against Auburn. And I don't know anyone's going to play them as well as Auburn did defensively. But what they had, 505 yards against Auburn. Mm-hmm. We've really played well in third down conversion plays where we beat them up front when they had to make short yardage situations, and they couldn't do it. They couldn't win the battle up front, and that's a lot of teams against Auburn right now. So they were moving it between the 20s and couldn't put the football in the end zone.
Yeah, good point. Randy said, if Auburn wins out, do you think they have a chance to make the playoffs?
No. I mean, but first off, we're not going to play in the SEC championship game.
But a two-loss Georgia team is going to play in the SEC championship if they were to lose to us.
A two-loss Georgia team is going to play in the SEC championship with a bad loss to South Carolina, and they aren't going either. So just because you win the SEC championship.
What would that do if they were to go over there and actually upset LSU in that game? That throws so much. I don't even know where to go with that. LSU wouldn't go at that point, would they?
Yes, they would still go.
LSU would still go, losing to Georgia, a two-loss Georgia team in the Dome.
Yes. Depending on how the game's played.
It is. I mean, what if Alabama doesn't lose again? All right, let's just throw this out there. What if LSU loses in the SEC championship game to Georgia, who might have 2 losses, and Alabama's sitting there and they beat us, and they sitting there they ride the wave all the way out 1 loss. Do they go and LSU and everybody else get kicked out?
I don't think a 1-loss LSU team that loses in the SEC championship game is not going to go. That loss to South Carolina is a terrible loss for Georgia. It will not. I can't see a committee going into a room unless you say, forget the whole first half of the season. Depending on how they're playing to close the season out, it's how we're going to pick.
And they lost at home, by the way.
Auburn a couple of years ago, when you beat the number 1 and number 2 teams in the country in back-to-back weeks, which Auburn did against Georgia and Alabama.
And then go play in the game.
And then you go get a chance to go win the SEC championship game when your losses weren't bad losses. You know, go along with that. Those weren't terrible losses for Auburn earlier in the season. So then you go to the SEC championship game, and if we win, we go. But I don't think anyone has that opportunity coming their way. Georgia's got a terrible loss. The only other one that, you know, I think LSU, even with a loss in the SEC championship, is going to go.
Good point. Justin said that catch was on first down. Do you not think LSU would have at least gotten a field goal there anyway?
Yeah, they would have scored. Sure they would have.
Even if they didn't, even if the catch hadn't counted. So.
Yeah, I mean, you can, and who's to say they wouldn't have scored? They wouldn't have got a touchdown anyway. But still, I mean, that's beside the point. I mean, what's the correct call is the talk. You know, I always like to learn something in those situations, and I didn't know exactly. I thought I knew, and now I know. And I think they missed the call.
Yeah, and G. Hill said, I don't think they would have won if they would have been conservative. I don't either. I mean, I think that LSU, you know, did what they needed to do.
Yeah.
And they did kind of go into a conservative mode there in the third quarter. But I think when they realized, okay, here comes Alabama, we can't just sit here and do this the rest of the game. Because that's what Auburn did 2 years ago in Baton Rouge. They had a 20-point lead, and we just sat there and thought, well, if we just play, you know, close to the vest and let the clock run, we'll win this game, don't make a mistake. And that's not what happens. These teams are too aggressive.
And LSU, it didn't take a rocket scientist to decide you better start scoring some more. When Alabama got it going, they really got it going. So, you know, look, I was sitting there watching it, probably the same as all of you were, thinking to myself, how many more points does LSU need to win this thing? I think we were all texting that.
No, that's right. No, we were.
How many points y'all think they still need? And this was the start of the fourth. You felt like they needed 14 more.
You needed to at least score 1 more time, if not 2. This is the similar situation that we just brought up. Here we'll close it out into the going of this break. Scott said, here's a wrench for your playoff situation. Bama, LSU, Georgia all finish 11-1, which could possibly happen. That could still happen. If Georgia wins out, LSU loses in the SEC championship game, all 3 are 11-1. What happens there?
Who's got the bad loss?
Georgia has the worst loss in the first.
That would be my choice.
But if Georgia wins the SEC championship 11-1, that's a mess for the community for sure. Stay tuned. More of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
At Mortgage Pro, we won't be able to finance a new car or new boat. We can't open you a checking account. Mortgage Pro specializes in mortgage loans. If you're looking to purchase a new home or refinance your current home, the only way to go is Mortgage Pro. We can close in 15 days or less. We can offer the best rates in the mortgage industry. And we can waive appraisal fees on any new loan from September 1st until December 31st. Call Mortgage Pro today.
So, you may not know it, but you've seen our work everywhere. For a combined 50 years, SignSource has been Central Alabama's premier option for all your sign needs. Custom signs for your business, club, or organization. Wraps and decals for your vehicle or boat. Full-color banners for your big sale, or a photo collage on canvas for grandma. All with fast, friendly, prompt service. Check out our website at signsourcenow.com. 888-533-6758. Go straight to the source. SignSource.
WOTM, your new home for high school sports in Alabama. The road to Jordan-Hare continues this Friday on WOTM with live second-round AHSAA playoff coverage featuring the Central Clay Volunteers traveling to Walker County to take on the Jasper Vikings. Stay with WOTM each Friday for live games every round of the playoffs and on to Jordan-Hare for exclusive TV coverage of the AHSAA Super 7, only on WOTM.
Growing your business isn't just one thing. It's a million little things. Should you lease, rent, or own? How fast can you get that part? Does it fit the budget? That's what your local Cat dealer is here for. With expert advice, flexible financing, and industry-leading equipment, you can get the job done, day after day. Visit ThompsonCat.com, your compact equipment provider.
Lex Wedgeworth has been the most trusted pest control for generations, and now with EnviroCare, you can expect the same high standards for all your pest control needs. EnviroCare's exclusive Centricon termite colony elimination system provides the industry standard to protect your home or business. EnviroCare's Centricon system protects your home year-round. Call the professionals at EnviroCare throughout East Central Alabama for a free estimate. Nobody cares like EnviroCare, the next generation of full pest control for your home or business.
Hey Realtors, do you know about LMG Ad Agency? We build your brand and help sell your properties or a unique lifestyle so you can focus on your clients. We focus on professional photos, videos, aerial photography and videography, and commercial real estate. We'd love to tell your story. Contact us today at 256-392-4250 or visit our website at lmgadagency.com.
Find everything you need for the perfect outdoor living space at Russell Do-It Center, like the Fire Rock Outdoor Conventional Fireplace, smartly designed masonry systems that are easy to install and are less than half the cost of a scratch-built brick and mortar fireplace. Weber Grills, the best outdoor gas, electric, and charcoal grills, which always come pre-assembled. Yeti Coolers, premium coolers and accessories that are the ultimate in design, performance, and durability. Russell Do-It Center, experience and knowledge from the pros.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz here. 30 more minutes in today's show. A couple more comments. Luke said in that scenario we just brought up coming into break, LSU and Georgia actually would be 12-1. Bama would be 11-1. Bama out there, out the other two in. So he thinks that would eliminate Alabama just with one loss.
Yeah, I can see that.
Patrick said, does Auburn get sextoned again if Gus beats Thugger and the Gumps? So
we get what?
Thugger. That's
so the question. So he's asking.
Do we get Sexton? Does Jimmy Sexton get us?
No,
again?
I don't think we fall into that ever.
Surely,
again.
I mean, no. I don't either. I
don't know who's doing our bidding. I don't know who's doing our negotiating. Stephen Leith was last time.
Well, he's not in the mix.
He's not in the mix anymore. I don't think Gus Malzahn's going to come to Auburn with a 10-2 mark on the season, which is a wonderful season. Would never be upset.
10-2 record, but he doesn't deserve
but
another.
If I believe that Sexton's going to come to Auburn and say to extend this thing 3 or 4 more years and extend that thing back out to $42 to $50 million worth of buyout and stuff, I think that's what you'll get.
I think just say, man, just pack your stuff. If you want to go on up to Arkansas where you will not win, okay, I don't care.
Yeah, true.
Look, if you want to read what I read this weekend about them trying to get out of Brett Bielema's contract right now because of a little.
No, tell me, I don't know.
Well, they want to get out of paying his buyout, the rest of his buyout, because I can't remember the amount of money, but they're trying to do that plus $10 million that they're going to owe Chad Morris in his buyout.
How can they get out of paying
a technicality they're trying to find with his employment with the Patriots?
Okay.
It says something about him not taking another job or $50,000 a month, the way they pay him or something.
Okay.
They just kind of went into some detail.
Well, I could see that.
But he's saying that his salary's undisclosed. It means he can't make over a certain amount of money.
Yeah, because you offset.
That's exactly right. But the bottom line, with the renovations that they've made in Arkansas, the amount of money they got to pay him, they're broke. So what are they going to come after Gus Malzahn with? They better hope Jerry Jones opens his checkbook up. Because right now, with the liquid money that they've got, they don't have any. Not only are they in a mess geographically and recruiting, they're in a mess with what they've put themselves in with firing Brett Bielema, now firing Chad Morris before the season's even over. Talent that is so subpar compared to anybody in this division, and I'm talking Ole Miss and Mississippi State too. They can't even win they ain't won an SEC game in over 2 years. I mean, this is a program, man, that's in the depths of you-know-what.
I mean, you're satisfied with Gus Malzahn at this point, aren't you?
Satisfied, yeah, no doubt about it.
To a point, though? Or, I mean, you're not so blown away with what we've gotten on the field.
Here's what I think, and this is just my honest opinion, and I told somebody on the phone this morning. Gus Malzahn can recruit. He's got some good coaches. He got Kevin Steele, which you give him a ton of credit for, which he should get credit for. Gus Malzahn, I think, has done the most he can do with what he's able to do. I think there are other coaches out there that can recruit to Auburn as good as Gus does and do more with the players than he's done. I think that's a fair assessment. He's won a couple big games here and there. He has. And I think we've given him credit for that. But I think over time, you can't be so worried that, and I know people go, well, you might go out there and hire you a 6-6 coach, and you might do that. But are you willing to just accept 8-4, 9-3, and not be the program that you want to get to, or are you willing to take a chance and go out there and get somebody that can recruit to Auburn? I don't think anybody's ever had a hard time recruiting to Auburn, and they're not going to start having a hard time recruiting to Auburn.
Or they'll be gone.
Or they'll be gone. If you don't get the talent, they'll be gone, and have a chance to go and maybe do more with Gus Malzahn. I think that's a fair assessment.
I would guess that a vast majority of Auburn fans would say next to exactly what you said. I don't know how many of us are left.
We're not toting torches wanting him to run out of town.
No. And I think he's a good guy.
I do too.
And I think he manages his program, and he does care about his players, and he does a great job at a lot of things. Do I think that if he jumped out and went and got a Joe Brady type and turned this offense over to someone where he didn't have his fingerprints all over
Spectacular.
I think he could too.
He just can't get over his own self. I think that's one of the things that we brought up on this show time and time and time again.
And I just have so many questions at this point after watching that game on Saturday. Are we going to ever have an offense that looks that dynamic again on a consistent basis? Now, we'll go play Arkansas, who we're just a million times better than, and we can score 50, or Mississippi State that's not good this year. But if we play a very good team at this point with Gus,
we struggle.
Because I don't see the identity that we got in 13 and 14 anymore, and our recruiting doesn't show that we're going for that identity.
What if he were to come out and score 40 against Georgia this coming Saturday, like we did a couple years ago at Jordan-Hare?
I still feel the same.
I
just don't think I'm going to get – first off, I don't think we're going to score 40 against Georgia. But even if we do –
I didn't think we was going to score 40 that day either.
Even if we do, I'm just not hoodwinked to the point of me thinking that Gus Malzahn is a top 5 coach in the nation. Do you think he's a top 5 guy?
No, I don't.
Do you think he has top 5 in him?
I think at times he gets there. I think at times he can get a team there, and he can be
You think
in that
he
mix.
can consistently get Auburn to a top 5 program?
I think he can get them there every once in a while. I don't think – I mean, what is consistently?
I think that's
every 3 or 4 years?
Yeah, which is
what he's done.
about what he's done.
About what he's done.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we have to endure the bad times.
Or the very mediocre times.
Or the mediocre times. It's not bad. I mean, it hasn't been real bad. But the Birmingham Bowl years, to wait to hopefully get a 17 and a 13 year sandwiched in there. Speaking of that, We'll go to the and we're going to get to talk about Georgia here in just a second. But top 10 coaches on the hottest seats right now, according to Coaching Carousel.
You read them out.
CoachesHotSeat.com. These are the top 10 hottest seats in the country as of today. We'll start at number 10 and work our way up to number 1. I know we're about to hit a break, so I'll just start with number 10 and 9. Number 10 is Kevin Sumlin in Arizona. Has he ever not been on a hot seat anywhere he's been?
No.
I mean, in Arizona, I didn't think anybody thought that would really work out well. It's not doing so well right now. Clay Helton at Southern Cal.
I think that's low for him. Yeah. I'd say that if they even somewhat felt like they could get a big name, he'd be gone as fast as they could get him out of there.
Man, I tell you, Texas,
it's a sleeping job.
It is. But man, a team can go in the hole fast in this day and age. Stay tuned. More of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kia of Auburn. Kia of Auburn on South College. New Kias at 0% APR financing and no payments for 90 days.
Kia of Auburn. Kia of Auburn. Kia of Auburn.com.
This is Coach Pat Dye. At Kia of Auburn, you are always number one.
You already know the power and reliability of a Mahindra tractor. Get ready to meet their ATV and UTV lines. Haul more and tow more. Do more. Reaching speeds up to 60 miles an hour. Models have a 12-inch ground clearance and the ability to haul up to 1,200 pounds. There's a Mahindra utility vehicle and a model specifically to get the job done. Test drive today at Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor. Serving Tallapoosa, Coosa, Clay, and Talladega counties. 256-392-3613.
Harbor Point Ship Store has everything to make your day on the lake more enjoyable. Come on out to the biggest marina on the water. They have pizza, hot dogs, burgers, and more. Get your gas, groceries, snacks, ice, and everything you need for a fun day on the lake. Are you in the market for a new or pre-owned boat? Harbor Point has the best selection around of everyone's favorite Crest pontoons and Four Winds boats. Harbor Point also has a great selection of pre-owned boats. Come on out and take a look at Harbor Point, Marina Point Road in Dadeville. Get to the point.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Expect it or not, the loss of a loved one is difficult. Put your family first by planning ahead. This is Joseph Dean, new owner of Alabama Funeral Homes and Cremation Centers. We are a full-service funeral home with an on-site crematory and cemetery. Whether your need is immediate or you would like to plan in advance, our experienced, compassionate staff can assist you in designing an enduring memorial experience, burial, or cremation. Alabama Funeral Homes and Cremation Centers on Highway 280 in Camp Hill or online, alabamafuneralhomes.com.
Tires are important, and when getting a great price on tires, you want to get it right. So make the short drive to Wright's Tire in Sylacauga. Wright's Tire can get you any make or model of tire, and they make the drive worth it with volume pricing. Whether North Tallapoosa, South Talladega, or Coosa County, make the right choice, the right selection, the right service, and the right price. All at Wright's Tire on Fort William Street in Sylacauga. Call for a free quote, 256-245-7778, and get the right price on tires.
Be the hostess with the mostest this holiday season at Chicken Salad Chick with our easy party catering. Need a quick appetizer? Stop by Chicken Salad Chick and grab a quick chick of any chicken salad flavor or the pimento cheese ball covered with crushed pecans and crispy bacon. Remember, no meal is complete without a sweet treat. For a limited time, our pumpkin cheesecake is back and it's delicious. Chicken Salad Chick can feed any holiday crowd with our custom fit catering. 12 flavors of chicken salad, there's sure to be something for every taste bud.
Hi, I'm Kurt Bowman, General Manager of Vaden Toyota. We'd like to announce our new lifetime warranty on any new Toyota.
Hashtag lifetime warranty.
Hashtag we love our customers.
It can be used nationwide at no additional cost.
Hashtag customer service.
So come on by and let us show you
The Vaden way.
Hashtag maintenance matters.
Hashtag totally awesome.
Vaden Toyota of Sylacauga, just a short drive from home or online.
Hashtag your neighborhood dealership.
A lot of interesting comments coming in today, and we're going to get back to this hot seat talk. Justin said, does Auburn get a rushing touchdown versus Georgia? They haven't given up one all year.
No, Georgia. And I think that's one of the latest in the seasons that we've had
ever.
Is that forever?
I think forever.
It's a crazy
9
stat
ball
like
games
that.
in, 9 weeks in.
They're only giving up 10 points per game.
10.7, I think. It's unbelievable.
It's a great Georgia defense and a great Auburn defense. The hope that I have sitting here as an Auburn fan is that we have this game at home because these two teams look a lot alike, don't they?
They do. They look identical. Jim brought this up. He knows a little bit more about this Brett Bielema thing. Key is Brett Bielema was working as a volunteer with the Patriots, trying to still cash his Arkansas check. It was in his Arkansas contract to be looking for a job and no work on purpose to just get paid for doing nothing. The Patriots will pay him as an analyst, and Brett chose not to take the money. So they're trying to get out of paying that, but he's saying he's a volunteer.
I don't blame Arkansas at all. So instead of him taking that money because maybe it would cost him more money on the opposite end.
That's what they're doing.
And the Patriots are willing to pay.
Can they fight that though?
I would try. Can't blame them for doing it.
No, they need it because obviously they're hemorrhaging money. Patrick brings up a great scenario. He said, I think Norville would be a home run hire for Arkansas. Hopefully Dillingham will go to Arkansas with him. Morris could come to Auburn as the OC. And I just kind of went through the article I read about Chad Morris's him propelling into college following Gus Malzahn and how obsessed he was with Gus Malzahn, and before he even knew Gus, traveling to Arkansas to watch his games and to learn his system, and then how he kind of turned it around in Texas, won 3 state championships, and then kind of followed the route he ended up following. And then the two finally met against each other when they faced off when he was at Clemson, and he beat Gus Malzahn. So, but if he's in need of a job, Gus Malzahn in the press conference was very sympathetic, talked a while about Chad losing his job. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw that.
I would like to see it.
Yeah.
Do I think that we will? No, because I do believe that Gus Malzahn, after this past year, Brett did say that. How many times has he gone on camera this year and said that he's loving back coaching and being an offensive coordinator, which is the reason he's gotten to where he is? How can you go on camera that often and say that and then within a year go back and go, I'm going to be the CEO again? No, he's said too often on camera, I don't want to be a CEO.
Yeah.
It's not why I'm here. If you want me here, I want to do what I enjoy doing. The reason I got into coaching is to coach and be the wizard that got me here, so I don't see it.
Justin said Lashley and Lindsey didn't work. Why would Chad Morris work?
Well, point. Chad Morris may be a better offensive coordinator than the two of them, but I don't know that Gus Malzahn wants to give up.
Well, a guy like a Hugh Freeze or somebody like that before Hugh Freeze took that job at Liberty, they'd have to have some understanding as close friends like those three are. Hey, man, I'm going to come here to do a job, and if you're going to mingle in this, then I'm just not going to come.
And I don't think Gus. I think Gus is a micromanager.
He is.
I do, and it's to be understood. This guy's gone from a high school all the way to the epitome at the top of the heap, a top 10 program in the country, and Auburn's what I think that we are right now.
Yeah.
And who's to blame him? I don't blame him either. And he's back doing what he enjoys. Even though he's still got his normal tendencies over there on the sideline that make you scratch your head and go, gosh, I'm worried about that guy. Is he going to have a heart attack or what's coming up?
Yeah.
But he does seem happier.
He does seem a lot more in his element.
He seems more energetic out there, and I don't want to – if we are going to keep Gus, and I hope that he keeps getting better as a head coach and we keep him for 20 years and he wins some championships.
That'd be great.
That's the best case
We'd all look
scenario
back on these
here.
7 years and go, hey, man, it was just
it was growing pains.
It was just growing pains. Well, that's what it took for Dabo, wasn't it? 7 years?
It was. And, I would like to see Gus have the opportunity to do what he chooses to do.
I think this is a very crucial year and next year on how all this plays out.
Of course it is.
You know, for the longevity. Is he going to be here 10 years? Or is he going to be here 20 or 15 or 18 or something like that? Coaches on the hot seat. We said Kevin Sumlin at number 10, Clay Helton at number 9. Derek Mason comes in at 8.
He deserves to be number 1. They're terrible. They are. They're pitiful. And they're coming off of a head coach that won 9 ball games for 4 consecutive years before he heads over to Penn State.
Yeah.
Is that right?
No, that's right.
So they had proven they could get to that point.
They can win.
And then you make, I don't talk about a fall. You fall off a cliff.
They went into
They got beat 56-0 Saturday to a Florida team that's not Alabama and LSU. Yeah, we lost to them earlier in the year, but that's still, Florida is nowhere near to the level I think those two teams are. Would you disagree with that?
Not even close.
So
we just played bad. Auburn could have beaten Florida by 2 touchdowns or 17 points.
How is Mason still have a job is my question.
It was terrible. It was a terrible performance. Number 7, Pat Fitzgerald at Northwestern, number 7.
I don't know why. I mean, yeah, he's only going to win 1 or 2 ball games this year, but he's got that program to a point they've never been before.
Look at what they've done the last 3
That'd
years.
be like Auburn putting Bruce Pearl, some crazy reporter, if Auburn were to win like 4 games in the SEC this year, which I hope that we don't, but be some crazy reporter out there that just because Auburn went to the Final Four last year that we think Bruce Pearl's on the hot seat because he only won 4 SEC.
Yeah,
I mean,
ridiculous.
Auburn fans would, we would storm the bounty.
There's
if
no doubt.
we even remotely thought, and I don't care if he doesn't win any SEC games.
Yeah,
I'd
he's
storm
got
it.
2 or 3 more years.
He does. He's bought himself a lot of
There's
time.
no doubt about it. Barry Odom at Missouri, number 6. Yeah, the Kelly Bryant project didn't work out, and I think he just quit. I really think he just said, man, I'm done. I mean, we lost 4 games. I'm getting out. This thing ain't worked out, man. And it's been a disaster for him and Missouri. And if Missouri, you go look at their recruiting class, this ain't getting no better. I don't know who's going to go up there and turn that ship around.
It's like Chad Morris at Arkansas.
It's just, man, there's some, I know we brag in the SEC about being a great conference. Man, there are some abysses in this conference.
Well, it's because
you go to some of these programs.
Well, I think players don't want to choose to go somewhere where you're going to get your brains beat in.
Well, considering that 5 guys on this list, or actually, 4 of the 10 are SEC coaches, that tells you something.
You're taking a massive risk taking a job in the SEC and an even bigger risk taking a job in the SEC West.
Oh, for sure, especially a lower tier team. Like number 5, Joe Moorhead at Mississippi State. That's number 5 on this list. He just never was a fit to me at Mississippi State to begin with.
I think he'll take a job somewhere else at the end of the season.
He'll get another job.
I don't think he deserves to be fired.
I don't think he does either. So. Stay tuned. Final segment of the Auburn Blitz coming up right after this.
Find everything you need for the perfect outdoor living space at Russell Do-It Center, like the Fire Rock Outdoor Conventional Fireplace, smartly designed masonry systems that are easy to install and are less than half the cost of a scratch-built brick and mortar fireplace. Weber Grills, the best outdoor gas, electric, and charcoal grills, which always come pre-assembled. Yeti Coolers, premium coolers and accessories that are the ultimate in design, performance, and durability. Russell Do-It Center, experience and knowledge from the pros.
The interstate is backed up this morning due to an accident.
So you don't like sitting still on the interstate? Get the free Algo traffic app. With Algo, you'll have the information you need to avoid problems on your route, to work, to home, to the beach. Traffic backups, wrecks, lane closures, all with current info and live traffic camera feeds. Know before you go with Algo Traffic, ALGO Traffic from the Alabama Department of Transportation. Get it today and arrive on time.
Lex Wedgeworth has been the most trusted pest control for generations, and now with EnviroCare, you can expect the same high standards for all your pest control needs. EnviroCare's exclusive Centricon termite colony elimination system provides the industry standard to protect your home or business. EnviroCare's Centricon system protects your home year-round. Call the professionals at EnviroCare throughout East Central Alabama for a free estimate. Nobody cares like EnviroCare, the next generation of full pest control for your home or business.
I am Lisa McClendon from Country Financial, and I have spent years in our community helping people protect their homes, cars, and lives. I am proud to be a member of the 2018 National Championship Team and a National Advisory Council member for Country Financial. Complete financial security does not end with just insurance. I am also here to help you plan for your financial future.
Together, we can help you set up a step-by-step plan to reach financial security.
Let's talk soon.
Growing your business isn't just one thing, it's a million little things. Should you lease, rent, or own? How fast can you get that part? Does it fit the budget? That's what your local Cat dealer is here for. With expert advice, flexible financing, and industry-leading equipment, you can get the job done, day after day. Visit ThompsonCat.com, your compact equipment provider.
Hey Realtors, do you know about LMG Ad Agency? We build your brand and help sell your properties or a unique lifestyle so you can focus on your clients. We focus on professional photos, videos, aerial photography and videography, and commercial real estate. We'd love to tell your story. Contact us today at 256-392-4250 or visit our website at lmgadagency.com.
Mortgage Pro is the new standard for mortgage loans. While other banks are taking 45 to 60 days to close a loan, Mortgage Pro is making it happen in less than 15 days. Your mortgage loan goes from start to finish in less than 15 days. Mortgage Pro is able to make this happen by having the most advanced technology and a highly trained staff with over 98 years combined experience. If you're looking to buy a home or refinance your current mortgage, call Mortgage Pro and let our team go to work for you.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Final segment of the program here. Coaches on the top 10 hot seat list. We just said Joe Moorhead at number 5 for Mississippi State. Number 4, your buddy, Will Muschamp at South Carolina.
He ought to be 2. And
if he hadn't beaten Georgia this year,
they'd already fired him.
I think they'd have fired him already.
But he deserves to be fired. They're not going anywhere, and they're not going anywhere fast. And I think he deserves to be 2. First, Derek Mason. How in the world that guy's held on as long as he has? He's pitiful. He is. That's plumb pitiful. I can understand being at Vandy or somewhere, but to just get drummed like they do week in and week out.
Well, speaking of drummed, the next one on this list gets his fair share of drummings too. He probably should have just kept his job where he was. He may be regretting the return home. This hadn't been a very, very favorable return to the homestead for Scott Frost at Nebraska. Listen to some of these scores. They lost to, their wins are over Northern Illinois, South Alabama, and a 3-point win over Northwestern, who is horrific with a capital H. Okay, Nebraska loses to Colorado. They lose to Ohio State by lose 48-7. It could have been 480-7. Minnesota could have beat them as bad as they wanted to. It was 34-7. This is Nebraska, by the way.
Yeah.
They lose to Indiana 38-31, and the latest drum roll, please, was a massive loss to Purdue, 31-27. And no, Drew Brees wasn't quarterbacking Purdue last Saturday. This is a Nebraska team. It's somehow gotten worse than they were the year before with Scott Frost at the helm. He's probably second-guessing why he left Central Florida. Nebraska's probably second-guessing why they hired him. I don't know where this is going to end. It's bad enough to have him number 3 on this list.
You know, I said that I thought Nebraska was a sleeping giant.
They got Wisconsin this weekend, by the way.
Do you think Nebraska can get it there, or do you think that where
Some of these programs really make me worry that they're ever going to come back? Texas, Tom Herman. Everybody's got to have Tom Herman, right? What are they? They are Mediocreville, man. They are the most mediocre group that you can find at 6-4.
Is it talent?
I
Is it the right Joes and Bows? Are we that much better in the Southeast?
Makes you wonder. Southern
It
Cal.
really does.
Southern Cal. Where are they at right now? You know, there for forever. In the early 2000s, man, it was Pete Carroll, and them, of course, they were cheating like crazy, so obviously that helped. But the Texases of the world, the Notre Dames for that fact. I know Notre Dame's made it to some playoffs and all that, but they're
not close.
They're not close. They
don't. Alabama team.
Where's Michigan? Where's Michigan? The only team in the Big Ten worth a darn on a regular basis is Ohio State.
Yep.
Penn State gets in a big ball game. They go on the road. They can't beat Minnesota. That tells me they ain't back. James
Did you
Franklin,
watch them?
I did, man.
They're inept on offense.
They aren't good.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of out there with
is.
big name programs. So I get where people go, man. You better pump the brakes and
reason
hold
so
on to
many
who you
people
get.
enjoyed Saturday night. Even Auburn fans. Look, I can't name a fan base that dislikes the two teams that were out there playing Saturday night more than Auburn.
Exactly.
Did you enjoy that game?
It was a great football game.
Beautiful
You'd
football,
be stupid
man.
not to say.
I mean, I said this. I tweeted this out. If you don't like this game, you don't like football. This is great.
It's a great football game.
And there hasn't been ratings like that since 2011.
And everybody knew this was going to be this way. And I mean, and they wanted it this way, and they got the two teams undefeated, and it ended up being an epic matchup. Number 2 is Mike Bloomgreen from Rice. I don't think anybody really cares. I mean, who cares if Rice is on the list?
I didn't even know who their coach was.
I didn't think so. Number 1 is Mark D'Antonio at Michigan State.
I don't think that's fair.
I don't really think that's fair either.
I think he's done a pretty good job, a solid job there at a program.
I know that there's some on this list that deserve to be on top
Derek
of him.
Mason deserves to be fired
You
so fast.
You are on
I was confused on how he's held on as long as he has. They're pitiful. And he's at a program that has proven they can win, man.
They can get some guys up there, and
you can't.
You know, usually Vanderbilt used to be a team you didn't want to play. You'd end up beating them because they do something stupid at the end of the game, but you'd beat them 21-17, or you beat them 17-14, or something like that. They are getting pulverized.
And he's following Franklin.
I know it. Who got them on the map.
Man, he got them going. So when you're following someone like that that's proven it's doable, and you're not doing it, you got to go. He's pitiful.
Some quick numbers on Georgia-Auburn, and I know Andy and I will talk about this more tomorrow, but points per game for Georgia, 33.7, Auburn, 32.7. It's eerie how close these two teams are, by the way. Points allowed per game, 10.7 for Georgia, 17.4 for Auburn. So they are a little better on points per game, a touchdown better for that matter, which is pretty good. Total yards for Georgia, 448.4 yards per game, 425 for Auburn. Yards passing is 232 for Georgia, 215 on the rushing side, 205 for Auburn through the air, 219 on the ground. So Georgia a little bit better through the air, Auburn a little bit better on the ground. Yards allowed, defensively only 260 yards per game for the Georgia Bulldogs, 334 for Auburn. They have had to play that LSU team, and I know the yards were astronomical, but the points weren't. So that kind of skewed Auburn's defensive numbers there. Passing yards allowed for Georgia, 185.8, 221.4. We know we're not as good in the secondary, but Georgia doesn't throw it very well. Here's the difference. 74.6 yards on the ground for Georgia, 112 for Auburn on the ground. It's going to be a close game.
It's a great Georgia defense.
But a very average offense.
You read out those numbers right there. This is in 2019, this is a mind-numbing defense for Georgia. Can they hold on? Can they keep playing like this the rest of the year? I don't know. I mean, they've been able to this point. So you can
got several guys hurt Saturday. 3 offensive linemen. Don't know what their status will be. I know they lost their top receiver in the game. He's not probably going to play Saturday. So they did suffer some pretty significant losses.
I know y'all will do a lot more of this tomorrow. Key to the football game for me, because I don't know if I'll be back on this week, is does Swift have a big play? Can Auburn tackle well from the secondary, not to give up big plays to him? Because he is an X factor to me. He was an X factor against Georgia. They held him, they contained him for a majority of the game, then he breaks out and he makes a big play, and those numbers start skewing and they're running the football well. Can we keep him from making a big play on us? He killed us in that SEC championship game.
Saturday against Missouri, he had a 47-yard run, but he only had 84 yards total.
Did that against Florida.
So he had one big play.
But you got to keep that 47-yard run could win it for him.
That's
in a game where two defenses play like this.
That's true. That's true. Good stuff. Again, I want to thank everybody for watching and listening every single day right here from noon to 1. We can't thank you enough. All the comments that come in on Facebook, you make the show, and we really appreciate it. It's going to wrap it up. For Randy Lee, I'm Brett Pridger saying we enjoyed it. We hope you did. See you tomorrow.